Hello and welcome back to Holopon Solo Sagas, and today we are continuing with our third series of free form, instead of using the choose your own adventure type books, of Call of Cthulhu. So welcome back to the fourth part of this story, the Ashmolean. We have set this episode around Oxford and the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. We are in the 1920s, and our investigator, Evelyn Sinclair, has been, who is an Egyptologist and antiquarian, has been investigating some items that have come into the Ashmolean Museum. Two of which, one was a tablet, a stone tablet with hieroglyphs on, which seems to have been a bit of a red herring, and instead we've been focusing on a very strange painting that's been doing all sorts of things. It's been making weird noises, faces of ex-owners have appeared within the painting, but at the moment the investigation that Evelyn has done has shown that there is no overpainting, so Evelyn hasn't been able to quite work out why that is, but Evelyn received a letter strangely tied in to some noises that the painting began to actually emanate, making Evelyn feel very weird, telling Evelyn that he should bring the painting to Avebury, where Evelyn was originally from, and Avebury being a very strange place with very weird things that happen. For instance, I only realised that we didn't know it when we went, that the Red Lion pub in Avebury is in fact incredibly haunted, for example. And so Evelyn is in the Ashmolean Museum late at night on the night of the 3rd of June, as he's received the letter, and he's going to attempt to try and work out a way of getting a large painting to Avebury. Now, during the last week, I have been thinking about who has been doing this and doing this investigation, and I think I know who this might be, mythos-wise, and maybe trying to drive people insane, entrap and torture people in a painting, and have some people who may be in Avebury who may be worshipping this entity and may show themselves out of many different faces. Anyway, let's get on with the story, but before we do, thank you very much for returning if you're a returning subscriber. If you have not yet subscribed and you are into Cthulhu Mythos every now and then, this is the third series. I don't do Cthulhu Mythos all the time. I do various different solo role-playing games, and this may be of interest to you if you would like to subscribe. I'll remind you later on in the video to subscribe, and if I don't remember, I'll remind you right at the end. And also I might say thank you to the people who have joined the membership and who are supporting me, and thank you very much to all who support with your time and your effort and your attention and your questions or your financial support. I thank you for all of it. Evelyn needs to get a vehicle to get him to Oxford. Now, the probability of a professor working at the Ashmolean Museum in the 1920s owning their own vehicle that would fit a painting is very low. So, I will make a roll for Evelyn's credit rating. If Evelyn can get a 1/5 credit rating roll, which is 10%, then Evelyn can actually have access to a vehicle. Otherwise, Evelyn is going to have to try and borrow one, or steal one, from the Ashmolean to try and get himself there. Now, he does have one insight left, so I could attempt to use it for this, but there might be a waste because the probability of him rolling is very low. So we'll just do a straight roll. So 10% and under, and it just so happens that Evelyn has a vehicle big enough to fit a painting. 33%, that's quite good, that's under normal, but nope. So Evelyn doesn't have a vehicle himself, so Evelyn's going to need to try and get a vehicle. So I was thinking, so what Evelyn could try and do is could try and get the keys to one of the vehicles. The Ashmolean is bound to have had at least one vehicle for moving things either in or taking stuff somewhere else in like a small motor pool out the back. I don't know, there is some alleyways out the back of the Ashmolean. That's what might be down there. I assume there must have car park somewhere nearby, though it's a very built up area around there in Oxford, and always would have been in that way. So possibly he can get the key from the keeper's office. Now, he would be one of the last people in because it is late at night. So let's make him make a luck roll. So we'll do a straight luck roll that the office is unlocked. The keeper didn't lock the office. He has 57 luck at the moment. 32, okay. 32, so the office is unlocked. So now he needs to try and... So we've got a spot hidden. Spot hidden might do. He now has to try and find the keys in the office. So spot hidden, he's got a 75 spot hidden. Let's see if he can find the keys in the office. 77. Okay. He is going to burn 2 luck, taking his luck to 55, to then knock that down to 75 and be able to find the key. So he's almost given up hope. He's almost given up hope. And he goes to close the door to walk out, and then notices there's some hooks on the back of the door, and notices there are some keys, and one of the keys says van on it. So he takes the keys to the van. So he will now drive his way to put the... I might need to get the painting. How's he going to get the painting by himself? It'd be big. All right, he's going to roll luck again. 55 now. Oh, 8. Oh, okay. So I'm going to say that there is definitely a couple of people, maybe the cleaning staff. There's some cleaners. There's some cleaning staff doing some cleaning, and he is going to attempt to ask them, give them some cash, and ask them to help him carry the painting. So he's got 50 for his credit rating, 39. All right. So some of the cleaners help him load the vehicle, because it's late at night. There probably wouldn't be female cleaning staff, there would be male cleaning staff, would help him, or maybe someone doing some repairs would help him move the painting into the back of the truck. He would do, let's see if they think this is a bit suspicious. Has he got fast talk? He hasn't got fast talk. He does have persuade. 11 is under 1/5. So he rolls under 1/5 of persuade. So they think this is perfectly above board. They probably won't say anything to anyone the next day. It's perfectly fine. It's all above board. People move stuff like this all the time. Oh yes, don't you worry. I've got to just take this painting off to be assessed. I do. I have the paperwork, because he does have that paperwork that he completed. He's just not going to take it there. He puts it into the back, and then he's going to drive his way to Avebury. I mean, it's not difficult. The only thing that he might do is he could get lost. He drives to Avebury. It's quicker and easier if I just say he drives to Avebury, isn't it? All right, so he drives to Avebury. He gets there probably the early hours of the morning. He would have to drive. So I reckon it would be, well, and I asked GPT. The roads weren't great. It would probably take 3 or 4 hours to get there. So not 2 to 3 hours. It'd probably take 3 or 4 hours. So he would get there early hours of the 4th of June. And whilst he's driving, we will do a roll using the Solo Investigator's Handbook, a story progression, and see if... So our mythos is still at 23. Let us see if we have anything weird happen whilst he is driving. So we've got our story direction where we add mythos to this. So that's 83. 83 is dice roll. So we might have some weird stuff happening whilst he is driving. 77, something happens. Random events table. Random events table. Okay. I don't know if we've done one of these. Some of these random events are dependent on certain conditions. If your entity is not in that situation, change the nature of the event to match the situation. Or other options you can re-roll. Create one. Add the current mythos points to this roll. Points to 23. Okay, so we've got 96. So that is definitely in excess of 100. A mythos creature appears, terrifying to behold. Okay, so on the roads to Avebury, use QA rolls to determine the nature of the beast and its current disposition. Okay, so we are going to... where is our QA rolls bit? We'll use the QA rolls within... okay, so I think it is... I think that the mythos beast... So the mythos beast that I was thinking of... So I was wondering of mythos beast that would try to trap someone in a painting that would do that, and Nyarlathotep comes up with who is the crawling chaos, would come up. So if this is going to, and so do cults worship Nyarlathotep? Yes, multiple. The Keeper's Guide says it, multiple do, and there are various different things. And because particularly around the whole thing of artists or things who are expressing that type of expressing and the madness, that might be better. So there might be a cult in Avebury which wants the painting back because it's part of the worship, and we are trapping people in the painting. So Nyarlathotep may appear, but Nyarlathotep would want Evelyn to get to Avebury. So Nyarlathotep may not be that, but we'd be more than happy to drive, because the painting is there, which is in the truck. So to appear to Evelyn and possibly drive it. So I think it's very highly likely, which is plus 40 to this roll. 60 and above is yes. Plus 40, it's highly likely that Nyarlathotep is going to take advantage of Evelyn concentrating to permeate his conscious mind, and maybe do something to send him a little bit loops before he gets there, which might mean that he crashes, but hopefully he survives. So, is Nyarlathotep going to attempt to cause a hallucination for Evelyn? Plus 40 to this is 56, and 56 is only a maybe. So, we might give, so a maybe would be, it's not definitely going to happen. We might give Evelyn a intelligence roll to keep concentrating on driving, and his concentrating on driving and getting there is what will keep it at bay. So he's got a 70 for intelligence. 33 is under under half. So 33, so he gets an under half roll. So Evelyn can feel. We will do a so he will get a slight. He can feel at the edges of his consciousness that things are starting to come in, and he's starting to see things. So we're going to do a roll on the visual effects table, but we're going to say that this is he has this unsettling unsettling feeling at this point because he resisted it, which puts our mythos to 24, and he needs to make a sanity roll, failing, taking a d4 minus 2, taking does that count as 0? Yeah, taking 0 san loss. Okay, so we will do, say, as he's driving and he's concentrating, he will see something. Visual effect, add the add mythos, which is now 24, being 80, being 91, I think. Writhing 91, 91, a vision of yourself being brutally killed. Meh. I liked what I was originally going to say. Writhing tentacles out of nowhere wrap you in their embrace. So visual attack will wrap you. So what we have is, as part of Nyarlathotep, we have one of Nyarlathotep's forms is the bloody tongue, which is an enormous monster with clawed appendages and a single long blood-red tentacle in place of a face. So we will have that the writhing tentacles, so out of nowhere, as driving along the country road. Have you driven along one of the country roads around that area at night? Particularly at this time, or when there's no lights on, he would be turn a corner, and this creature with claws will seem to have come out and attempt to wrap around the vehicle with a tentacle. He is going to make a drive roll, which is only 20%, so he will throw in his insight dice at this point. So he's 10, so that's 14. So 14s, drive auto 20%, so that's 14. So he makes the drive roll. So he does a swerving, avoiding these tentacles that seem to be trying to reach out, and this huge creature with a blood red tongue that just takes up the whole of its face seems to be this blood red tongue like tentacle, lashing out at the vehicle as it tries speeds down the country roads, smashing into hedgerows and trying to take a turning to just avoid it. And the next turning is the same thing, and this is now going to be, it will make him make a sand check now. Failing. This is going to be terrifying for poor Evelyn, as he attempts to terrify him, +5. So failing, taking a D4 +1, taking 3 points of sand loss, taking the sand to 38, taking the mythos to 29. As he drives down the streets, down the country roads, on the way to Avebury, avoiding these tentacled beasts that keep appearing at corners, reaching Avebury early hours of the morning of the 4th of June, outside the Red Lion pub. Outside the Red Lion pub. We will have him doing his next log entry. So that was 2 scenes basically, but we wrapped it into the one. A terrifying thing happened to me last night. I managed to get the keys to one of the vans at the Ashmolean, and I borrowed a vehicle. Technically speaking, I stole it, but I don't like to think of it that way. Some of the staff helped me load the picture, the painting, the artwork into the back of the van, and I sped my way to Avebury. During the night, I saw things. There was something in the streets, in the roads, in the hedgerows. It jumped out at me. It was the weirdest of things. A creature made of claws and slime and tentacles. A tongue-like appendage lashing out and trying to grasp my car as I sped my way on. With luck, I drove fast, and with luck, I drove with skill and avoided it, and arrived in Avebury in the early hours of the morning. I'm quite shaken up and quite pale. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what was going to be here in Avebury, but I will try to get some rest and try to recover from whatever happened. I don't know what's going to happen next. Hopefully we can get rid of this painting. I can hand this painting to someone and they can take charge of it, and I can go back to my normal life, hopefully. Alright, so in the thoughts of doing that, I think that what Evelyn will be attempting to do is Evelyn is going to first attempt to get some sleep, which is downtime. So he is going to electively go to the Red Lion. So he used up that insight. So he has no more insight that's left to use. So first, because he's coming in the early hours, is probably another credit rating check. Yes, it probably is, isn't it? A credit rating check to get in, otherwise he's sleeping in the car. No, so they won't open up. That's a massive foul, and there's no way he can spend enough elect to it. So he's going to have to sleep in the car. So we will do downtime in the car, Mythos 29. We will roll on the downtime disturbance table. Add 10 if you choose to take, so he's choosing to take downtime, which is adding 39 to this roll. That's over 100. Okay, potential shocking disturbance. Go to dice roll table. All right, so something disturbs him. If it is something happens, we'll roll it anyway. So we've got 86, something happens. We'll go to the random events table again. And we roll plus Mythos 29. What's that? Oh, it's not much. So it's 29, so that's 34. You meet someone who shares a vital piece of information regarding the quest. Nice. Okay, that actually works. So attempts to sleep because he's getting sleep deprived, which we'll do a sand check because he's getting sleep deprived, but he passes. And so as he's trying to sleep, there's a knock on the side window as he's parked around the back, and probably he's parked in a back part, and there's a knock on the window. And he sees, let's see what he sees. I will do some verbs and we'll see what he sees. I'm thinking if it's anything close, it might be Rachel, or it might be somebody else trying to bring, because Rachel may not be there, because we did do that check and it's potential that Rachel is in the painting and he just hasn't seen her. So we've got 487, which is 187. Dump, which does possibly go with who I'm thinking. So that's 53 with who I'm thinking. So the organisation that the letter allegedly from Rachel talked about Queen Void. One of the faces, one of the ways that Nyarlathotep shows themselves is via the bloated woman, who could be seen as Queen Void, possibly. This is 53. 53, beckon. Beckon works. Someone's beckoning. Okay, someone beckons. Dump. Dump might work. Dump might work. Like Stig of the Dump. There's a place like the Dump. What we've got? 36. 4364 is 136. Decay. Decay particularly works with the bloated woman. 243, which is 43, which is ban. Ban doesn't work so much at all, but I'm thinking, depending on what this last one is, that it's someone from the organisation beckoning him to a meeting early in the morning because they know he's there. 354, because Nyarlathotep would have, or the bloated woman would have told them. 354 overpower. Okay. All right. So we have got a group of people are banging on the door, on the window. They are all dressed in normal clothes, but they're slightly painted. Let's make him make a spot. What's a perception spot hidden? He's going to do. We'll do it as spot hidden because he's got high in that anyway. 97. Okay. He's sleepy, and so he doesn't really notice that they. But we know they're dressed like artists, paint splattered, have like the 1920s artist look. Evelyn is just shocked awake as the door is knocked. I'm going to say, can Evelyn roll under his luck of 55 that he would have locked the car? 53 is good enough to be under the lock. Okay, so 53, he did lock the car because I did say he rolls under. So they are going to smash the glass to open up the car, and they are going to attempt to overpower Evelyn and drag Evelyn off to where they want to, which is a decaying, desolate building out the back of Avebury. Maybe it's a sheep barn, an old barn that's falling apart. So they smashed the glass, which shocks Evelyn. They are going to attempt to get Evelyn and drag Evelyn out. Now Evelyn does have a brawling, so let's grab a big lad. A big burly lad is going to attempt to drag Evelyn out. And he's going to say, "Don't struggle, fella. I got you and I ain't letting you go." Here we go. Where's a burly cultist? Do a cultist. Fighting, brawling, a place, criminal thug, fight, brawl, 50%. All right. We're going to have a little bit of a brawl between Evelyn, who's just woken up, and one of the lads is going to attempt to get Evelyn out of the car. All right, so our criminal thug has got a fight of 50. So the criminal thug is attempting to grab, to manhandle. So they've all bearded. So Evelyn can see their faces, but he failed his spot roll. So he's just woken up in a blur, and he's just fighting instinctively. The thug fails the attack. Evelyn starts. So Evelyn doesn't have to defend to fight back because the thug failed. Evelyn tries to hit back. Evelyn's got a fighting of 50%, also failing. So they're both just sort of struggling. Evelyn's still in the car. The bloke's trying to drag Evelyn out of the car. Other people are getting involved, so we'll have somebody else get involved. So they're both sort of fumbling against each other as Evelyn is trying to get himself, close the door and drive off. and they're all struggling. So we'll have 2 of them now because there's a group of them. One, I'm going to give that as 50%. So he's got a 50% hit. That's 51. And the other one, 11. Okay, so one bloke pushes the other one out of the way, who's a big lad, and grabs Evelyn by the shoulders and tries dragging him out. Evelyn is going to try and punch him to resist coming out. 41 is okay. 41 is a success. So Evelyn hits him in the cheek, but he cracks Evelyn in the back of the head. Evelyn then, because he got the bigger success out of the 2 of them. If Evelyn takes another one, I'm going to say that they're just going to knock Evelyn out, and Evelyn is going to wake up somewhere. So the other bloke, so Evelyn can hear. What about his listen? Evelyn can easily hear that the back of the car is being opened up, and they're talking about there it is. There's the painting. As Evelyn is screaming and saying, "Let's try it, Evelyn." He's going to try and persuade. He's going to have to get under a half, because they definitely want to be. They definitely don't want to be under. He's going to have to get under a fifth, which is 12%. 35, no, but it is under persuade, but it's not under a half or a fifth. So Evelyn is trying to say stuff as the bloke just tells him to shut up. That's the one who fails all the time. That's the one who succeeds and hits him. And Evelyn is going to try and block that, failing. And so Evelyn gets cracked in the jaw. Evelyn goes unconscious as they drag the painting out. And, okay. All right. What's the time? Okay. As they drag the painting out. So this is probably going to be quite short. As they drag the painting out. Yes. All right. Yes. They drag the painting out, and Evelyn gets knocked unconscious, coming to in what looks like. So it would be an artist studio, wouldn't it? But it's weird artist studio. It's definitely inside an old decaying barn. But there are paintings. There's tarpaulins and dust sheets have been put up, which are covered in paint splatters. It's lit by a bare bulb, because they would have electric lighting, but it would be basically electric lighting. Their time has obviously passed. Let's make you make an awareness. Yep, time has passed. You can see it's now in the afternoon. It's the afternoon. I'll write that down. The painting is being held up at an altar. There's some weird altar. There seems to be a space is cleared in front of the altar, and it looks like that there's things have been moved around a lot. There's various. So the painting is there. There's various paintings set up. Evelyn is. Let's see. We'll use these ones. Is Evelyn tied to a chair? Positive is yes. Negative, no. Evelyn isn't tied to a chair. Is Evelyn being held by those 2 blokes? Slight negative. Okay, so if Evelyn, is Evelyn just been chucked on the floor then? No, Evelyn's not been chucked on the floor either. So where is Evelyn? What would Evelyn be doing then? Let's roll a verb and see how is Evelyn in this room. 406. So that's 106 verbs. So how is Evelyn been? Is he been restrained? 106. Conceal doesn't make sense. One more. 7s is 322. 322. Lear makes no sense either. Last one, and then I'll just make it up myself. 367. 167. Dishonour. None of that works. All right, so I don't like the chair bit because the chair is in the way. Post. He's tied. It's a barn. There's a post in the middle of the barn. He's tied to post holding up roof. All right. Are there people in the room in this barn with Evelyn? Yes, very much so. So, there's lots of people in the barn with Evelyn. Okay, so that would infer to me that there's a ritual taking place. Okay. All right, so what we might do, I've just thought of it, so there's a bit of a cut there because I would have gone quiet thinking of it. So what I'm going to do is we will have, so Evelyn is there, he's tied to the post. There's all these people in the room, and they are obviously there for a ritual. So are they wearing robes with covered faces? Yes. Robes, covered faces. Okay, so Evelyn's there. This is terrifying. This is proper. This is proper, mad, terrifying. As Evelyn comes round. So first off, we're going to make Evelyn. So this is terrifying, which might possibly put the mythos. So the mythos goes to 34. Evelyn has to make a sanity check, or he will lose. He's going to lose 2 points anyway. 58 fails, so he loses a D4 plus 1. He loses 4 points, taking him to 34. Basically, let's see if we can drive Evelyn insane. Drive him down to zero sanity during this. So, the worshippers are within there. There's a swinging light. There's natural light only just coming through. It's in the afternoon, which is Evelyn knows. So there's natural light coming through the cracks in this barn. There's a smell in the air of the old smell of animals. They've not been here for a while, so a slightly musty but dirty smell of like sheep and the hay that's on the floor. The dust sheets have gone down. The paintings that these people have put in this room, which looks a bit like this barn, looks like also paintings have done, are the most grotesque and bizarre paintings that are terrifying to Evelyn's eyes, as there begins to be a sort of a dull hum, a ritual hum comes. The slip-slopping, a strange slip-slopping noise starts to emit from within the barn, and there's a hum that comes from all of the breathing. It's the heavy breathing that we heard earlier. So, because we heard some breathing and a slip-slopping, so we've got a mythos. So we'll bring those things back. So we've got the heavy breathing. So all of the people in this room, the barn is quite hot and warm, and they're standing around Evelyn, who's standing, and everything is facing the painting, and everyone just starts to breathe. The breathing slowly starts to pick up, and there's a breathing. They're breathing heavily, and they're almost panting, as though they're tired, as though they've been doing something continually and they're tired, panting from breathing and being tired. And there's the slip-slopping sound begins to come up, and he can hear this slopping sound as they begin to chant, and then the breathing becomes heavy breathing as they begin to chant the name, the Queen's Void, or Queen of the Void, or something that he can't quite make out, but something about the Queen, or the Queen of the Void. And at that, the crowd begins to part, and he can hear this slopping noise as the most grotesque mammoth woman that he is, I'm going to now read from the Keeper's book, that he's ever seen, begins to convulse and undulate. Is that a good enough word? Before him, as she moves forwards, and she's wearing a large gown, an overly large gown, and her body seems to be almost unnaturally huge, and various tentacles begin to appear underneath the gown as she begins to move towards the painting and towards him, terrifying and disgusting Evelyn all at the same time. This is now petrifying. So we will now go to 44 mythos, and he needs to make a sanity check under 34, failing, taking 1d6 san loss, 4 points, taking him to 30 sanity. As she steps forward before Evelyn and speaks to him in a disgusting, wet, slopping sounding voice. She is going to say, I am the bloated woman. You will be a help to us as we worship our Lord and sacrifice you to him. And we'll find out what they're going to do to him next episode. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Call of Cthulhu. I think after I edit it, it'll probably end up being quite short. But we will find out what happens to Evelyn, whether Evelyn can escape, his sanity intact or not, or where Evelyn will end up at the end of, which will be the end of the Ashmolean, our third series of Call of Cthulhu. Thank you to the members. Thank you to anyone who joins. Thank you to all of you who subscribe. And I'll see you next time.